Hello, friends, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The More of You Know. As you remember, my name is Emily Waddell, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I work in the office of the Dean of the Ingram Commons. So I'm going to go ahead and let our guests introduce themselves for this week. So if each of you could take a turn, and I'd love to know your name, your pronouns, the office that you work in, kind of like why you're here, and then what place you think that the students need to check out once they get to Nashville. So a must-see or a must-do or a must-eat, one of those things. So Michael will start on the end, and then we'll go this way.
Yeah, hi, I'm Michael Wallace. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the Assistant Director for Residential Colleges, and I also coordinate International Student Orientation. And one place you have to check out while you're in Music City, since we are Music City, is a music venue. And my favorite venue is the Ryman Auditorium, not too far from campus.
Absolutely. It's a lot of cool shows, and I think sometimes they'll do student ticket prices, so really awesome to check out.
Well, hi, I'm Rosa. I'm currently a junior at Vanderbilt University. I'm an international student from China. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm here because I am an international student orientation leader, IOL. You'll be hearing me using that abbreviation a lot. But a place I would recommend going is probably Shabu Shabu. It's a really good hot pot place nearby. It's like all you can eat hot pot. If you guys haven't gone,
I have not.
You should. I actually just went last night. It's really, really, really nice.
Awesome.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie Wilbers. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the Director of International Student and Scholar Services here at Vanderbilt. And one thing I love about Nashville is Cheekwood. It's a botanic gardens, and they have a lot of cultural festivals there. They have different exhibits, wellness programs. I think something, if you like being outside, something to check out.
That's another place I haven't been. That's been a really cool part of the series, is all these places I need to go. So that's a good answer, yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Petrick. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm an assistant director in International Student and Scholar Services. And I think a must-see place in Nashville is the Belcourt Theater. It has a wonderful selection of films, including a lot of foreign films too, and things you wouldn't necessarily see in a typical movie theater. So it's just really interesting. I think you should go. And they do give a discount to students, so that's always nice.
That's so cool. Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here and for helping us to learn more about what resources and opportunities we have for our international students. So, could you each briefly describe your office or organization, and then what your team does, and then why I, as a first-year student, feel free to answer this both as a first-year international student, but if y'all also want to talk more about the domestic students too, whatever y'all want to do. But yeah, if you could go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a part of the residential colleges, and the residential colleges oversee the programmatic aspects of life on the Ingram Commons, as well as in the upper division residential colleges on the main campus. And so in addition to supporting faculty and the House Programming Advisory Council to put on programming, we also implement new student orientation, which includes international student orientation and first-year orientation for domestic students.
Awesome. Yeah.
I can talk more specifically about international student orientation. I was an orientation leader last year, and this year I'm the selections chair for iLEAD. So our program is basically like the name. We do orientation for first-year international students. You should come to our organization because it's a mandatory program, but also it's really fun, and you get to meet a lot of people. I kind of see it as a very soft transition for first-year students to really kind of land in Vanderbilt with the support of a small group of international students and other orientation leaders, where you really get to know each other and learn more about Vanderbilt, and before you go into the big crowd and face the whole Vanderbilt. So I think it's a really great part, and I'm really excited to kind of welcome the next class.
So cool. So there's a specific international student orientation, and then they'll also get to be a part of the common community.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay, that's so cool. Julie, what about y'all's office?
Yeah, so International Student and Scholar Services, we, as the name alludes, we serve all international students and scholars at Vanderbilt. We have about 1,800 at any given time. And we also like to be an advocate for international students and scholars, make sure that their voice is represented on committees and in decision making. We provide, of course, the visa document that they need to obtain the visa, very essential. We help them maintain their non-immigrant visa status, which can be quite complex, as our international students know. And then we provide programming and support to help them transition to life here in Nashville. If you're a domestic student, you're more than welcome. We would love for you to participate in our events, as we also want to facilitate cross-cultural exchange on campus. But our international students, they will interact with us many times their first year, and we hope that they come to us early on so we can help them with the problem and be more proactive.
Right, yeah. I definitely think transition can be easier the more proactive you are, I would guess. Yeah. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would just reiterate that our programs are open to all students. So even if you don't identify as an international student, you're still welcome, and it's a wonderful way to learn about different backgrounds, different cultures, and also too, like, when we talk about international, sometimes we're talking about students on a specific visa, but even if you're on a different kind of visa, our office is still happy to invite you to our program.
Awesome. Thank you all. Okay, so what would be each of your best piece of advice for these students? Specifically, let's speak to our international students. The best piece of advice you'll have as they're coming into their first year here at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, definitely. I would say get outside of your comfort zone. You're already kind of doing that coming so far to Vanderbilt University, but push yourself and take this opportunity at college to really grow in different ways.
I think my piece of advice is don't be afraid to reach out. I've been in your shoes. 2 years ago, I was a freshman. I was terrified. But I think it's really important that we are all here. The people you're seeing right now, we're here to help you, support you. And I know I speak for all of the ILLs when I say we're all ready to help you in any way we can. And when we start reaching out to you in the next few weeks, feel free to just reply to our emails, text us, ask us anything. Like, even if you think it's a really weird or childish question, we are here to answer them for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just echo a lot of what's been said. I would encourage students to show up even when they're nervous. And if a problem, starts to creep in, come to us early and we can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I would also add, there are many wonderful things you can do at Vanderbilt, many different ways to get involved. But also think about your own well-being, and you don't have to try every single thing necessarily. Your own health and well-being is the most important thing. So, always try to find that balance between academic life, personal life, all of the other things you'd like to do.
Yeah, that's such a good piece of advice for any student, right? Especially probably one who's coming to a whole new culture and all these things. Of give yourself grace to kind of get into it. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to ask a few questions that are more specific to, international student orientation and then to y'all's office. So if the answer doesn't apply to you, you don't have to answer. Okay, so what topics would you say are covered in international student orientation, and when is it? When should I expect to be on campus?
Yeah. So international student orientation is required for all first-year international students. It begins on Wednesday, August 17th, with International Move-In Day. All new first-year international students are expected to move in on that day, and that will be between 8 a.m. and midnight, since we know there's a lot of different flights coming from all over the world. If you're arriving in the U.S. prior to that date, then you cannot move into the residence halls early. You'll need to find a different accommodation, and we can help assist you in identifying accommodations if that is the case. Just be sure to email us ahead of time at commons@vanderbilt.edu. Also, you will have 2 full days of orientation after that. So mark your calendars for Thursday, August 18th, and Friday, August 19th. We will be introducing you to several topics, including collegiate academics in the U.S., healthcare and health insurance, student employment, student involvement on campus, information on maintaining your immigration status, and many, many opportunities to meet different people and learn more about campus.
Awesome. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, basically you get to hang out with us. And then you have all of these offices that want to meet you and introduce themselves, and that you know of their resources and what they do on campus. And obviously you have your small group that you get to have. So you have your designated IOL, International Student Orientation Leader, and you have a group of other international students, and then you will spend a lot of time together. Last year, I think one of our groups ate Jenny's, which is a really great ice cream here in Nashville. So you just have fun and get to know people during the 2 days here.
That's incredible. So the next question, and you've already touched on it, what is an IOL? Maybe also talk about what's iLEAD. I know you've said that before, so if both Michael, if you two want to talk about that real quick, that'd be awesome.
You can-
Okay,
Go ahead.
cool. iLEAD is a student organization, but we also we're part of the residential college, but we're also a student organization, meaning it's completely composed of students, and we have our advisor, Michael. But basically, our main programming is really essential in the fall, where we spent the entire summer preparing and spring training our ILL to make sure we're ready to welcome the international students on campus. Basically, our organization is there to serve the new international students, and we train ourselves to be culturally aware, to learn how to provide more resources for first years, and we'll be reaching out in the summer. So our program kind of starts in the summer, where we start reaching out to you, and then we start building that connection, and officially starts in the fall when you come on campus, and continues throughout the fall semester. We'll check in, we'll have more contact, and hopefully we become friends and we maintain that relationship after that.
Incredible. And then, so since it's a student organization, if any new students here really enjoy it, they can then apply.
Exactly.
So hopefully be an IOL.
We love
for
our first year students to then apply next year. We love when that happens.
That's awesome. Did you want to add anything to Mike, or you feel like
I will just say, if you are a domestic student who has been living abroad, international student orientation is not mandatory for you. We will not expect that you're attending or assign you an IOL unless you want to attend. And if you want to attend, please let us know by July 15th by emailing commons@vanderbilt.edu.
Cool. That's a really important thing to say. So, our next question is kind of focusing on you two in y'all's office. So, what are some reasons that students would want to visit the International Student Scholar Services Office?
If they would want to or should visit it.
I will let you answer that as you see fit.
So
what are some
we would,
required reasons?
we love just building community with our international students, so that's one reason that they should visit our office. But if they have any questions about, let's say, dropping a class and how that could impact their status, maybe if they're going to take a medical leave of absence, or they want to travel internationally and they need a travel signature on their documents, there could be a myriad of reasons as to why they would need to speak with us or want to speak with us. Learn about how to get an internship off campus, which is quite a popular topic. So also if they're just struggling with adjustment, all of us in ISSS have lived abroad, we speak another language, so we're familiar with cross-cultural adjustment. I think that's another opportunity to engage with our ISSS advisor.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to add anything to that?
I think she pretty much said it all.
I'll say it's a great answer. And you kind of alluded to this, so maybe a little bit more of elaboration, and you two can also speak to this as well. What are some tips for how international students can successfully adjust to life in a new country? I feel like that's a pretty big adjustment.
Yeah, I think there are two main things I would say. One, and this kind of goes back to what people have already said, don't be afraid to try new things. You'll have a lot of opportunities to connect with different people, join student organizations, try new sports, participate in a lot of events on campus. So, and that can be good, especially when you're adjusting to a new location, whether it's your first time in the U.S. or second, third time, whatever. Having lived abroad myself, I know that the moments where I felt most homesick and the loneliest were the times when I just didn't have anything to do. Mm-hmm. When you engage in a lot of different things, that can help keep your mind off of the loneliness and the isolation. So that can be a healthy thing. At the same time, though, don't abandon your identity or feel that you have to abandon your identity. If it's very important to you to go to a certain place of worship or eat food from your home country. Nashville is a very diverse city. There are many immigrant communities here as well. And with that, you'll find many different ethnic grocery stores, different restaurants that are owned by people who've immigrated to the U.S. You'll find many different places of worship. So, don't feel that just because you're in the U.S. you have to let your identity and your culture go. That's still who you are. So, and it's also important for your well-being that you maintain that.
Such good advice. Anyone else want to add something?
I would just add, be kind to yourself. You're going to be going through a lot of change. We would argue that most of it's going to be exciting, but it will also be overwhelming. And I think just give yourself some grace. There will be some kind of expect the fun times, but also expect the challenges, and it's okay to feel down at times. So let yourself feel that way.
Absolutely.
I really agree with that. I just want to add on and even challenge this question a little bit and say that you don't have to successfully adjust to being here.
Yeah.
You don't have to be successful. You can fail, I guess, or failure is a big part, or I guess a necessary part for all of us. And I think just being okay with that and knowing that you can fail, and so you can try as many times as you want.
That's a really good answer. Michael, do you want to add anything?
I'll just say that the staff and students and faculty here at Vanderbilt are here for you and to support you during the transition. I mean, I know specifically for residential colleges, we are located on the second floor of the Common Center. So if you have any questions or you feel lost or you need help, please feel free to stop on by to our office or any of the offices on campus. And we're here to listen and support you throughout your transition.
Absolutely. On that note, do you want to mention where y'all's office is located? I'm sure they'll figure it out. But yeah, do you want to go ahead and say that as well?
Well, so we're located on the first floor of Surratt in the Student Center, but we will have a new location soon, which we will be announcing. And
so exciting.
We will have an open house, so we're really looking forward to creating a very inclusive and welcoming environment in that new space.
So stay tuned on that one.
Stay tuned.
Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, so this is our last question, and we've already touched on it, so maybe just if there's anything you want to reiterate or a new thing, but what opportunities are going to exist for me as a new international student to connect with other international students on campus? So both maybe before classes start, after classes start. If any of y'all have something you want to add to that question, go ahead.
Answer this question from a student perspective.
Yeah.
Outside of iLEAD, I know there are other student orgs on campus that are very specifically focused on like multicultural community or international student community. I'm involved in Multicultural Leadership Council, which is basically an organization where students of different cultures, whether domestic or international, come together to celebrate the diversity on campus. And there's a specific branch in Multicultural Leadership Council called International Student Relations, where they host events every year to celebrate international students, to kind of provide a platform for international students to share their voices, where you can connect with each other. And I know there is also International Student Council, which is very specifically for international students. And then I think International Student Council work directly with ISSS, right? And then there's like career panel for international students, and also like just hangout events or like end of year celebrations. So these are all like organizations that you can get involved in.
So cool. So they're different organizations that they can be a part of. That's awesome. Any other things y'all want to add to that, or do you feel like she?
Well, we do have a Facebook group, and I don't know if anyone still is on Facebook.
There are some,
but it's for incoming international students.
Great.
So if let's say you're from Colombia and you really want to connect with someone else, you can post a message, and connect early on. And then once you arrive, we'll give them a link to a GroupMe app. The international students and scholars can stay connected with one another, give each other advice, tips, and just ask if someone's interested in going out for a cup of coffee or something like that.
That's so cool. Now, what's the name of the Facebook group? How could they find it? Is it just ISSS Vanderbilt? Do you remember? We can also share it in the comments.
I believe it's ISSS 2022 incoming international students, but I might want to give you
We'll
the
check and we
link.
can post it if we need to update it. But that's a really great resource. Anything else? I feel like those are some really great opportunities.
Well, I think orientation is a great opportunity. You'll have International Student Orientation again with the Movement Day on Wednesday, August 17th, and then your actual International Student Orientation on August 18th and 19th. But then you'll start Common View Orientation with all of the domestic students on Saturday, August 20th. And so that will be a great opportunity to expand your network, meet more people, and really get your school year off to a great start with a community.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you all. These are all the questions I have. Thank you so much for taking the time out of y'all's very busy schedules, preparing for these new students to come and answer these questions. Again, thank you for watching either live or later through the recording. You can find that on our website, vu.edu/class of 2026. But until next time, I'm Emily, and this is The More of You Know. Bye, y'all.
Bye.